Well, every year, some 10,000 Americans find themselves in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant from somebody outside their family. Without such a donor, death from cancer is virtually a foregone conclusion. But new at 9, KXAN's Jim Swift tells us of a family from South Austin trying hard to put a huge dent in those distressing numbers.
I can send it to you. Okay. Let me take it with my phone.
Laura Phillips was just 12 years old when her mom and dad broke the news that her father, 9 years into remission from leukemia, was once again facing the deadly disease.
He had to go to Houston and get his transplant because he was gone, and we had people in and out of the house. Like sometimes both my parents would be gone and we'd be staying with my mom's friend or my grandma. So it was just hard to get.
A lot of upheaval.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for doing this.
The procedure Laura is talking about was a bone marrow transplant, in which a young Oregon woman donated her own stem cells for transplant into Ross Phillips' blood. She got the call just 3 years after registering as a donor.
At the time she donated, she was 21, but she was 18 years old, in between classes at her community college, and registered at a bone marrow drive, much like we're doing today.
In time, the Phillips family got to meet Stacy Courtwright.
She's become a really great friend to our family. We've met her and had her down here and introduced her to all our friends.
Stopped short of a parade. She met friends from church and neighborhood and went and took her to my doctor, and my doctor looks at her and says, "How's it feel to save somebody's life?"
Ross and I went up for her wedding, and she's about to have a baby, and so it's just been a wonderful, wonderful thing. And she has said over and over, "I'd do it again and again."
Where do I swab?
Okay,
So when it came time for Laura Phillips to do a community service project for her Girl Scout Gold Award, a series of donor registration drives at her school, Bowie High in South Austin, was an obvious choice.
we were fortunate enough to have someone save my dad's life, and the fact that I could help make that happen to other families is like what really makes it important.
A transplant is a last resort for these patients. These patients have gone through chemo and radiation, different treatments to try to get better, and they're just not responding. So they're really at a point where if they can't find somebody, it's very likely that they won't make it.
The need is especially severe in the minority community, where only about a third of patients find a suitable donor. But, say the Phillips, all potential donors need to know this is not a difficult thing to do.
It's just a lot easier than most people think, and so that's what we're trying to get people educated, that don't be scared. If you're called, it's not that hard, and oh my gosh, the impact you can have.
In South Austin,
Signing them up.
Jim Swift, KXAN News.